Jimmy, you're back from vacation. Yeah, I am. Do you want to come downstairs for some prime rib, cooked medium rare, 16-ounce prime rib, loaded baked potato, and a house salad with ranch, and a large Diet Coke, your favorite drink? No, thanks. I'm not hungry. What? Okay, Jimmy. Maybe next time. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Paid Search Podcast. Are you ready? Let's all do it together. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Have to see how that comes out, Chris.
Yeah, that's going to sound great playing it back.
Hey, everybody. Yes, welcome back to the Paid Search Podcast. My name is Jason Rothman. As always, I'm joined by the great Chris Schaefer. Chris, how's it going today?
Oh, Jason, it's great. It's a great day. You know, when people ask me, "How are you doing?" I've said before that I don't like that question because either they are just casually asking, they don't care, or it's inappropriate for them to ask how I'm really doing when they're just passing by me in the hall because, wait, let's sit down and let's talk. You know, how am I doing? So it's never a good time to ask unless you really mean it. I finally came up with a good way to answer it. Chris, how are you doing? Beautiful and successful. That's my new standard answer. And it always gets, and they usually say like, yeah, you know, they say something like that. Or if my wife's with me, I will touch her and say, beautiful. Then I touch myself and say successful. And that, you know, that's even better. So you guys are free to use that. It's a great answer to a dumb question. How are you, Jason? Fine.
Doing good.
That's it.
We did our monthly super patron live hangout last night.
Yes.
It was great. Just because we handle business on air always, Chris, just so you know, about like 3 weeks ago, I had closed the super patron tier on our Patreon page, and there wasn't an option to sign up. And we had a couple write-ins about that, and I just ignored them. And I was like, I guess you don't know how to use a computer then, is what I was thinking. But no, actually, I had like unpublished it. And just so you know, as my podcast partner here, and then everyone knows who wants to sign up, that is back. So if
it's back, surprise, big announcement. It was limited edition, but now it's back. So
yeah, so it's if anyone wants to sign up for that, who's not already there, jump on there. We do training videos, and we do once a month a live hangout. So we did that, and we've got a Q&A today, Chris. Yeah.
You guys send in. I always say this, but particularly this week, you sent in some really good questions. I literally messaged Jason. I was like, we have really good questions this week. Let's do a Q&A. So we're going to get to that. If you would like to be a part of the next Q&A, because it's too late now, but if you want to be a part of the next one, you can send in your question at paidsearchpodcast.com, fill out the contact form, ask us about your biggest questions in Google Ads. We talk about display, remarketing, search, shopping. Maybe there's something that you see, you don't know how it works or what it does, or you know what kind of advice you need. We've got the answers. And I tell you something we have another answer to. We have an answer for how you can get detailed information in Google Ads in a way that you've never seen it before. Brought to you by our sponsor, Opteo. Opteo is an online Google Ads management software designed to help you get things done faster. Get those tasks out there that that really grind your day to a halt. You know, lots of things everybody has to-do lists. This system is designed to help you get your to-do list done faster, so you can get the stuff that matters done faster. The daily management is really the grind of Google Ads, going in and checking things. And let me tell you about one thing that I really like about Opteo. They've been a sponsor for a long time. I've used the system for a long time. Jason uses the system. They have a segmentation system. Okay. So we've talked about the segment button on Google Ads. This is a completely different type of segmentation. This is a segmentation to see, for example, you can pinpoint the 20% of traffic or the 20% of the account that's driving the 80% of the performance. So everybody's heard about that 80-20 rule, where a small percentage of the campaign is driving the most success. They have segmentations and graphical layouts to show you what that looks like, what that 20% might be. Colors, imagery, graphs, charts, all interactive. And this isn't even part of the management system, right? This is all on top of that. You can see information, get information about your Google Ads accounts, whether you have 15 accounts, one account, 1,500 accounts, whether you're an agency, a freelancer, an in-house manager, or a business owner that has your own campaign that you're managing. Optio is the tool to do it. Here's what you do. Optio.com/PSP2. Super easy. Sign up for an additional 4 weeks on top of your free 4 weeks. So you get 8 weeks. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 weeks to try out the tool for free. That's exclusively from the Paid Search Podcast. So go try it out. Literally get messages from our patrons, our subscribers, everyone I've tried out Optio. I'm an Optio user. I like Optio. All kinds of positive feedback about the tool. That's why we still have them as a sponsor. We believe in them. They do a good job at what they do. Check them out. Optio.com/PSP2.
Thanks, Chris. And we're going to get into it now. Q&A. It's always good to see what's on Google Ads users' minds. And I've got a interesting one here for you first, Chris, from Dennis from Montreal. Hey, guys. Here's a 40-second video question for you about a Google ad format I just discovered. Would be great to get your insight. So, Chris, break down his question and then answer it.
Oh, right. That's fine, Jason. I'll just do the entire show. I mean, yeah. Okay. So yes, thank you for the question. We especially love video questions because accents, I don't hear too many of them here in my little small town in Texas. I guess that's a Montreal accent. Pretty cool sounding. You guys won't get to hear it. That's just for me. But here's what Dennis asks about. He sends a video over of an ad that has get offer, save 10% on your first purchase. So it doesn't matter what the offer says. The point is he doesn't know what this secondary little link at the bottom is of this ad copy. He wants to know, what is this? How do people get this? I don't see this in my ad extensions. It's not a site link, because when he clicks it, it pops up a custom text right up front that says you can put your email in. This is new. This is not something standard at all. So Dennis, you're definitely right. This is not something that is standard. It's not available for everyone. And it may not even be available for every country, but it is something that's available for some people. I have never used it myself. I don't know if Jason, if you have, but here's where it basically comes from. If you see something new in Google Ads, it's essentially going to be a part of the Google Ads labs. Okay, this is part of sometimes they call it beta program. Sometimes they call it the Google Ads labs. But essentially, it's a experiment test that Google will roll out to specific advertisers. Sometimes it might be only to a select few. Sometimes it might be a higher percentage. But there's a lot of things that you might see, particularly on higher spenders. I'm not going to lie here. Most of the time, it's higher spenders, long-time spenders, well-known brands. But they'll give them opportunities to try these lab experiment types of things that are only available with their account. And the truth is, in order to get it, you need to at least reach that certain threshold. Sometimes it's only available to premier agencies. Sometimes it's only available to agencies. Most of the time it seems like it's agencies that get a hold of them. Rarely it seems like it's one account. But the agency can request access to labs, and that's it. That's how, about as much as I know. I've used labs before. There's always a variety of tools in there, things you can try before anybody else. And sometimes it can be a huge asset because you have something that another advertiser doesn't have.
Thanks, Chris. I'm gonna keep teeing it up to you. Let's go. Read that question.
Great. Okay. Okay. I like it. We're on a roll. This is from Marius, right? I
I
think
think
that's
so.
right. Marius. That's the way I'm going to read it. Hi, I'm a regular listener from Norway, and I love how you share your knowledge in such an entertaining fashion. I've been using Google Ads for about 5 months, and I already feel like an expert now, thanks to you guys. So keep up the good work. Well, that's awesome. Thank you. So Marius has two different questions. I'm going to skip to the core of the first question. What are your best tips to make a transition from automated to manual without hurting the performance of your campaigns in the short term? It's a great question. Jason.
He also was asking, things are working. He's new to this account. Should he even think about changing over to manual? Because things are working. So I had a few thoughts on that. Number one, I go with this policy, Chris. If something's working in Google Ads, I don't change it. It just, if it's working, it's working. And what I would do if I was running automated and wanted to kind of think about manual, or would rather be doing manual but automated was working, I would run what was working, and then I would just keep manual bids as an idea, as a card to play when you came across that situation where things weren't working as well and you wanted to mix it up. So it's not tough to make things work in Google Ads, but it's definitely not 100% of the time that things work great for clients. So when you do have a hit is a hit. Episode 10, season 2, great song. Hesh, he knew the hit was a hit. Christopher didn't. You don't know
Wow.
what I'm talking
Okay.
about. You really don't know what I'm
Great.
talking about after that.
I
Those
don't.
details.
I listen to good music.
Don't change something if it's working. Have it as a card to play. But if you want to try it out, you can use an experiment, right? And
Oh,
you
yeah.
can either do Chris's favorite thing, an actual experiment, where you put on a draft campaign as an experiment and send a certain percentage of the budget to it. Or you can do a manual experiment, which is like, okay, on Mondays and Tuesdays, we're going to do manual bids. And then the other days of the week, we're going to do our regular automate campaign. You just have two campaigns.
Do you really do that? Do you tell
Chris,
me?
when I say I love manual, I love manual.
Oh
I'm
my
not saying I never
gosh.
do experiments and always do manual experiments, but it is a card I play sometimes. Sometimes I just want to see the data right there, have control of everything, and I do a little manual experiment with the schedule or stuff like
Wow.
that. What's wrong with that?
That is, man. If you were a ditch digger, you'd be like, Sheens, I just like my shovel.
I like my ditch. I like control of my situation. And then also a tip for Marius, episode 123 of the Paid Search Podcast, how to transition your amateur Google Ads account to a professional
Ooh.
level. Aggressive title, but it holds up.
It is.
I think in that episode we might address possibly going from automated bids to manual. So you might want to check out that episode 123.
Next question. I have just rolled out, this is still from Marius, by the way. I've just rolled out a campaign using the Lazy Man build with a very low budget, just $2 to $3 a day. It is a very low competition industry, though, with the average CPC of around 30 cents and low search volumes. With the latest changes to the search term report, it's harder to find good keywords from the search term report. So, is this still a recommended strategy in general? And for me specifically, anything else I could do to find good keywords? Oh, that's a great question. Give her a good
Chris,
answer.
I always like the lazy man build. I mean, almost all the time to get things started. I don't see anything wrong with starting off with the lazy man, even if we're in this low post 100% search term world, as you would say.
Yes.
So lazy man still work. There's nothing, I mean, they're not even tied together to, in my mind, they still work fine to start out.
Yeah.
And then how to get keywords. If you can't get all the keyword ideas you want from a search terms report, go through your client's website for keyword ideas, all their service pages. Go through their competitors' websites, all their service pages, all their blog articles, see if you can come up with any ideas. Do searches in Google, look at the suggested searches, look at the related searches at the bottom of the page. And then the best of all, and I know Chris loves this one, when in doubt for keyword ideas, just run some pure broad keywords like a pro and low bids, control your broad keyword environment, pure broad, make sure you're not going to overspend your budget or anything like that. Maybe control them in their own ad group or campaign, but getting search term keyword ideas from your search terms from a pure group or one pure broad keyword, does that still apply, Chris, in this lower search term environment?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised to see the 30-cent CPC with low search volume. That doesn't usually go hand in hand. So what that's telling me, and now that time has passed since Marius has started this campaign, you know what I think?
What?
I think she's in ramp up. I think the low search volume is a ramp because she says at the beginning, I've just rolled out a campaign. If you're getting 30-cent CPCs and it's just started and it's low search volume, I bet you're going to start getting more and more,
especially
as
if
it
you're on
starts
an
to.
automated strategy and you're in the learning phase.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a good point.
No
Yeah.
learning phase with this guy, by the way. The manual, you make fun of the ditch digging and the manual ditch is slower than all the machines. But hey, at this point in time, when I go to dig a ditch, I start digging and I make progress on that ditch. I don't sit around for 3 days and look at the boss and go, oh, I'm just learning. I'm sitting on the great machine, but I'm just learning how to
I'm reading the
ditch.
I'm reading the instruction manual. I'm putting gas in the tank. Yeah, that's true. That's a great analogy. The next time we get a question about manual versus automated, we should do the ditch digger analysis or analogy, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's I think
is there any other way to get, I mean, people are going to talk about tools and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, just day-to-day grunt work in Google Ads, how to get keyword ideas. You got to look around other people's websites. You got to look around Google searches, and you got to look at your search terms report. And to get more search terms, you can try pure broad keywords or broad match modified. Is there anything missing? I mean, Keyword Planner, maybe you can check it out, but
I wouldn't even go. Yeah, I don't think we very rarely mention Keyword Planner. We very rarely mention any paid keyword research tools. I mean, we don't even really have. I don't know if we've ever had a sponsor for that. We're just not real big fans of it.
I get all that I need from those methods I just laid out.
Real data. I like real data, and I like your ideas of using Google, looking at competitor websites, and all of this requires thinking. And I'll tell you, the one thing that really triggers a great keyword idea for me, I know this happens to you, is you're going along your dog bite analogy that you talked about so long ago, where you're talking about, dog bite lawyer. And then you saw somebody do pit bull. You saw that pit bull.
My neighbor's pit bull bit me. I need a lawyer.
Right. Yeah. It didn't have the word dog in it. It just had the word pit bull. And you were immediately thinking, oh, that's it. But all your keyword research stuff didn't trigger that. And that's because you were searching for dog. And until you see that come through, that's when you get that, that's it. And then, you'll never have that unless you have your hands in the search terms, in the keywords, looking at competitor stuff, looking at the related terms at the bottom of the page, running broad terms for a test. That's where you got to get in and get dirty on it. Wait, what was get nasty? I think that's the phrase that you like so much. Get nasty and sloppy and nasty. Sloppy and sloppy and
get low,
something like that.
Get dirty, turn off the GPS on your phone. Don't let our spouses know where we are. Get nasty.
Oh gosh, here we go. That's not at all what I said. No, that was not it.
That's how I interpreted it. It's the phones these days, the GPS,
Yeah, tracking.
Christopher, season 5 or 6, he's at the motel. Polly pulls up. If I can find you, kid, she can find you. Can we turn this into a Sopranos companion podcast, please, Chris?
But by the way, you saw the comment come in from someone who said they got hooked on, it may be in the questions here. They got hooked on Sopranos because of you.
Yeah, well, good.
That's he's been listening for a long time because Soprano references were quite a few years ago.
Look, you know what, Chris? I don't want you to be talking trash about Sopranos and calling them old. Oh, my
goodness.
When I have a true fan Sopranos family cookbook on my desk ready to go anytime.
A hardback.
I'm all about the Sopranos.
A hardback with the dust cover. It's even got a bookmark in it. Like he just sits down and reads it.
Nuevo Vesuvio, the family restaurant redefined, home to the okay. They burned down his restaurant, Chris, but they had to. They were going to.
I know.
There,
the amount of detail in your head on that show. I'm glad there's enough room for everything else because I think.
What's my kid's name again?
Yeah, exactly.
Anthony, AJ, come on, okay. Jeffrey from Oklahoma. Hey, Best country in the world, aka USA. What is up? That's this question. Just kidding. How many is too many keywords in an ad group? That is all. That was this question.
Okay.
That's how we do it in Oklahoma, Chris.
I like it. Oklahoma, straight to the point. Yeah. It's like, how you doing? What's up? Tell me my answer. Okay. I have two answers to this. Typical keyword volume is going to be like less than 30, more than 10, something like that, in that kind of range.
Typical, yeah.
And most of my campaigns are, trend towards the lower end of that. I'd say maybe the 10 to 20. So they can extend to 30, but if they start extending past 30, that's when I might decide to break it up into another ad group, something like that, simply because of the ad copy. I want the ad copy to be as relevant as possible. Now, the other answer to this is we talk about broad match. The last question we answered was about broad match. That doesn't necessarily apply if I'm doing broad match, trying to find search terms, lazy man build, early campaign launch, or I'm doing some research, stuff like that. I might dump 50 broad match terms into one ad group, if there's a lot of really good ones, and just let it run. I will often find that, when I give Google plenty of opportunity with a decent low bid to try something, there's no reason to break things up into separate ad groups because you can't control your traffic quality. So therefore, if you can't control your traffic quality, you can't control what messaging is going to be in every single ad that shows for those searches. So there's no reason to have 15 ad groups. Just dump it all into one. If you're doing a research kind of dig in, get data type of ad group or campaign. But other than that, 10 to 20.
I'm usually in that 10 to 30 range. But like you're saying, if it makes sense, I don't have a rule on a maximum. If it makes sense.
No way.
Something that would make sense is you have an experimental ad group. The ad copy can apply to everything pretty good. And you're trying to find what keywords are actually going to get volume and maybe pass through as something you would want to target in another ad group or in its own ad group. Once you see it start getting volume, experimental keywords. I do have ad groups like that where the count gets very, very past 30. But again, most of the time, 10 to 30. Our next question is from Alessandra from Milano, Italy. But first, a question from me, Chris, to you. Last week, we talked about your 5 o'clock shadow and how it looked good and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's been another week. We're past that point. People were bringing this up on the Super Patron live hangout. Yeah, they did. They brought up your beard last night. They did. Maybe you forgot, but they did. And the reason they did,
there were some other epic beards. My beard was pathetic compared to some Australian beards that we saw.
That's the truth. But what the hell's going on? Because I'm looking at you right now, and you're in a t-shirt. You were 10 minutes late. That's rare. Yeah. Your beard has gotten longer, and your hair is all crazy. And so what I want to know is what's going on, and why are you unshaven? Why is your hair all unkempt? And why are you in a t-shirt? Why are you late? What's going on?
It doesn't have to be a reason. I was late. I know,
but you're distracted. Working. You're still good looking. We all know that, but it's distracting now. I need you to fit in a box, and the box you fit in is clean cut, collar on the shirt, clean shaven. Your hair is kempt, but now I'm
going to a wedding this weekend. So next time you see me, I'll be clean shaven, a haircut, and all that stuff because the wedding's this weekend. So, sometimes. Sometimes
you guys know that hair where like the hair in the back is actually poofed up higher than the front of the head.
Higher than is that what it's doing? I can't even see.
Do you have a hat? Do you have a hat near you?
Oh no, I don't keep a hat in here. No hat.
Okay.
You want me to wear it?
Yeah, can you go grab one? Can you go grab one?
I could move the camera. Now you can't see it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay. Cut off the top of my head. Great.
Much better. Yeah. So just a couple notes for the show, Chris. You ever wear a shirt with a pocket, please put a pen in it.
Put something in the pocket.
And if your hair in the back is ever higher than the front, please do something about that or move the camera down. Thank you.
Move the camera.
I don't have that many demands. I'm just trying to put on a good show here. And
you don't? You don't?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, so Alessandra from Milano, Italy. Hi, guys. I've been listening for a while and recently added the Patreon show. Appreciate that. And for anyone that doesn't
Yeah.
know, every single week we do an after show and talk a little bit more of the business side of PPC and just whatever's on our mind. But it's a lot of fun and it's very inexpensive to sign up, and it's on Patreon. I would like to download the full text of the ad group ads. Full text of the ads is what she's saying, so I can review them easily and see which to change. What's the easiest way? Thanks. So, Chris, if you want to see all your ad copy in one place easily, what are you kind of where are you going there?
I'll tell you, I mean, I know you know the best answer, so I'll go with the worst solution. And that's honestly that stupid download button right in the UI. Like that is awful. They give you all the columns and it's sorted. And if you choose the wrong format, it puts it all into one cell, so it's completely useless. So you have to export it in the right format. If you export it in PDF, of course, you can't change it. I would say there is one way to look at it, and that's the download button right in the UI. You can go to the add tab and hit download and choose your format to download. But that's horrible. Jason, I know you have our favorite option.
Yeah, I think we just recently in the episode 2, this is 236, so maybe somewhere in the 230s, we did an episode on the editor. And
yes,
now she specifically mentioned viewing her ad copy in a certain way, an easy to scan format, but also seeing what to change. And so, Alessandra, if you're trying to view your ad copy in order to change it, you go to Google Ads Editor, get recent changes, pull in your data so it's accurate to what's in your interface that you see there in the editor when you pull in the data, and then look at your ads, and you can sort them by different columns, and it's all just line by line instead of like an ad format inside the user interface that looks like a text ad. It's just in individual lines, like an Excel sheet almost in the editor, and it's easy to highlight multiple things, find and replace. So you can change your data that way. If you want to export, you can also export from the editor account at the top, at least on a Mac, and then export, and then you can export different parts of your account, or you can export the current view if you're looking at the ads on a campaign or ad group that you want to export, and you can put that into some kind of Excel sheet. So yeah, either exporting to an Excel or a Google Sheet inside the interface, or looking at it in editor, or exporting to a sheet from editor. That's kind of the way you look at the ads in a different, easier to scan format.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say if you want to make changes, editor, no question. And we, if you're at the super patron level, which is recently reopened and available to the public, I even gave some very specific suggestions in a video that I did, about a 10-15 minute video where I go in and say, these are things that are exclusively available in the editor that you can't get anywhere else. Data you can see that's different, features that are different, things you can do to manipulate things faster. It's great. So definitely, if you want to get more into editor, there's some tips there as well at the super patron level. All right. Darian from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Hi, guys. I've been working with Google Ads for almost 10 years, and I love your podcast. I have to say, I really love to hear. This is probably the most self-conscious thing since we started the podcast, and it's still something. I know maybe you don't deal with it. I'll speak for me. Like, people that have been doing Google Ads for a long time, they're the ones that are going to be the biggest critics, because they're going to have some time under their belt. They're going to say, these guys don't know what they're talking about. What in the world? That's dumb. Manual bidding. They obviously don't know it. They're the ones that are going to put up some decent arguments against us. So I love hearing from people that have been doing Google Ads for a long time and still agree with us. Helps. My question is about search terms reports. I routinely look at search term reports to identify negative keyword opportunities in search campaigns. And tonight I thought, why does Google only provide this data for clicks? It would save us a lot of time and wasted ad spend. So, do you think Google should generate impression term reports where you can view terms that triggered your ad to serve. Right now, you have to learn about negative keyword opportunities the hard way after you paid for the click. Would love to hear what you think. I do have an answer for this, but
I know you're very you always bring a lot of energy when someone asks about impressions versus actual clicks they paid for. So I think I'm going down the road you're headed down, but you're not going to save much. Well, you're trying to get the things early. First of all, Darian, we gotta slow down and realize where we're at. They're taking 40% of our search terms from the clicks we got. So let's just forget about impressions and not ask
hopeless.
for too much. Like, I'm in the boat of like, don't take my other 60% of search terms I have left.
Yeah.
Please. Like, I'm trying to help you guys make money. Like, I get a lot of people we don't have to go down that road. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is I'll let Chris kind of talk about how maybe impressions aren't the most horrible thing because you haven't paid for them yet. So I'll let him talk about that. But my mindset is if you're looking for wasted impressions, I'm more looking at the keyword level and sorting by impressions, and then looking for keywords that get a ton of impressions with super low click-through rates. And I'm talking like on search, like hundreds and hundreds of impressions for one click, like way less than 1%. I'm not saying you need to increase the bids on those keywords or pause them like you're showing up too low, or in the case of pausing them, they're not relevant. But a click-through rate of less than 1% generally, unless you're going for that super low position, low bid strategy, usually it's a sign of some kind of quality issue. And the reason I don't like seeing those, there's always exceptions, but the reason I generally don't like seeing those super low click-through rate, tons of impression keywords is because my outlook on quality scores is that click-through rate is a heavy component of it. So if I have keywords that are weighing down my overall account click-through rate and they're not even bringing me that much because I don't get a lot of clicks on them, I kind of usually like phasing those out because I don't want something that gets a 0.24% click-through rate when my overall account is a 3. I don't want it weighing down my click-through rate, thus weighing down my quality score if I'm not even getting that much from it. So that's where I kind of look for wasted impressions. What about you with like search terms, and are you going to go down that you don't worry about it because you're not spending money road?
Okay, so first, I would absolutely be in favor of impression term reports.
I'd be in favor of full search terms reports where you get 100% of your search terms again.
Search terms, but I would love impression term reports. But it's definitely never going to happen. And I'll take the Google reasoning on this side. So I am definitely in favor of it. I think it'd be great. I would absolutely do it. But here's the reason it'll never happen is because two reasons. Number one, Google's in the business of making money, and they want you to pay for the data that you get. Impressions don't cost anything. Can you imagine if they were to start charging for impressions? That would be a whole nother level. Impression-based search campaigns, where you pay per 1,000 impressions or something like that. That'd be awful. That would be awful. It would completely upend the system because you would have to pay for your bad keyword, where they're doing lots of impressions, and it would really change the entire system. So I don't think it'll ever happen. And I don't think they would do it simply because it's about generating revenue. The reason you won't get impressions is because people would game the system like crazy. Let's say impressions were still free. The amount of data available at your fingertips to be able to look at things, you could imagine people running, 1 cent bids just for impression harvesting. This would be, it would be so abusive for people to be able to see that, and I hear people asking like, why can't I see the stuff that my negative keyword blocked me from showing up on?
Because you added a negative keyword, you greedy blank, 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 blank.
Yeah, Google would never share that because it would be data harvesting. I could put a whole bunch of negative keywords for a specific keyword and then see all that keyword data and volume, and it would be free data straight from Google, and they don't allow that. I remember whenever I went to Google headquarters several times, and I got my phone out once and recorded this live feed of Google searches. They had like a board with like live feeds going through of that. And the lady came up and said, "Put your phone down, sir. You can't record that." I was like, "Oh, snap. Wow."
I didn't know about this.
Yeah. This was a long time ago, but yeah, they used to, I don't know. I doubt they still have it, but it was a live feed of searches that were just kind of pouring down this monitor. I was like, "Wow, look at that."
That's interesting.
What's interesting? The live
That
monitor,
you've been there, that you've been there twice, and then also that they had that monitor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I've been there three times total. Went there for training. Early agent, Google used to train agencies. Imagine a world, Jason, where if you're an agency, you can get invited to get on Google campus agency training from the Google Ads team. Like, they're real. They do have legs and arms and speak. Like, we've never seen them now, but they used to be real, and you could sit in a room and they would talk and you could ask questions. Raise your hand and ask a question about something. It was glorious. I had no idea.
Where else have you gone in your career? All over.
I went across the street once, and that's it.
Okay, Chris. Well, we're going to wrap up with a question from Nicholas, but first, let's close with Optio here, and then we'll answer that last question.
Optio.com/PSP2. Hear that? That's an annoying commercial that we don't do here because Optio is friendly and not annoying. I'm going to talk to you like you're a real person. I'm not going to make noises in your ear. Optio.com/PSP2 to try it out for 8 weeks. It's a great software. I'm your friend. They're your friend. Give them a little bit of money and they'll give you a software to use. But they're your friend because they're going to give it to you for free for 8 weeks. That's exclusively here from the Paid Search Podcast. Tell them Chris sent you. Don't mention Jason.
And Chris, they Optio was also kind enough to share with us some data that they compiled to show some trends during the COVID-19 pandemic in terms of which advertisers have continued to stay strong, which ones have been hurt in terms of industries, which ones are trending up and trending down. And that can kind of help agencies understand where the flow of business is these days as we get through this COVID situation. So they wanted to share that with our Patreon group. And so that will be in the Patreon after show. We'll be talking about some data from compiled during the COVID-19 pandemic from Optio. So looking forward to discussing that with Chris in the after show. Final question comes from Nicholas from Alabama. I think I speak for most when I say I appreciate the free content. Thank you. I wanted to give you praise before asking my question. That always works. Y'all are great. I am running Google video ads. Today, I noticed that over 40% of my video ads are being placed on kid channels. I own mattress retail stores, and my target audience is adults 25 to 70. Any suggestions on how to block this or appear on more adult audiences? Just to know, I have targeting turned on for mattress-related items. And I wrote down as my answer that Chris will answer this because I don't deal with YouTube ads anymore in business. I don't want the business or life. I'm a YouTube premium member, totally different platform. YouTube will probably be exclusively a streaming platform, just like Netflix in the future. Maybe that could be the road they're going down. That's the road I live on now. And I don't bother with YouTube ads right now.
It's funny that you get it and you're just like, oh, you're just talking about it all the time now. Like, hey guys, I don't even know what YouTube ads are. I love it. Okay.
To answer the question, I'll be streaming on YouTube.
You're gonna watch some Soprano clips. Okay. So I honestly,
I am not impressed.
Could you mute it? You're not gonna actually.
Sorry, I was actually watching a video I was streaming. Go ahead. Go, buddy. You go, buddy. I'll sit here. I'll wait.
Okay. Wait for just a second. We can watch it while we're doing Patreon, all right. Here's the thing. This tip is so good. I'm almost tempted to wait 2 minutes and push it over to the Patreon side because it's a really good tip and I know that it works. And I give this information to behind a paywall. But we are like 40 minutes in. You know, if you're still listening, I guess you've earned
Deep
it.
waters, yeah.
Please leave a positive review, 5-star review, and say Chris gives the best tips on the Paid Search Podcast. Jason sucks. Just say that. It'd be great. 5 stars. Okay. Here's the tip. Nicholas, if you go to your YouTube topics, click on YouTube, your YouTube campaign, click on topics, and then go to exclusions. Probably haven't used this before, but you can go into topics and then exclusions and block entire categories of videos. There are lots of categories. Find what you think is probably coming in whatever category would be for that kid channel. You know, there's toys, there's family friendly entertainment, there's education, stuff like that. That's the kind of topic that these are going to be coming in on. Block it, exclude it. Boom, done. Otherwise, you will be going in and blocking channels one by one. Good luck. You're going to die a poor man because you'll spend all your time doing that. You won't have time for any other clients. Instead, block topics in your YouTube campaign. That's it. That's my tip. And if you want more of my tip, you can join us in Patreon, where we share all of our secrets, all the wonderful things that we can't give to the public. And I think you'll like it there. $2 a month. That's it. So thanks for joining us. We'll catch you guys next week.